Hey YouTube, it's Jonny Miller on the Net barge. We're here in Alaska, and this is a Honda generator that has been troubling us for a while. Let me just show you our problem. So if you go here and turn it on, it may not start at once, but here we go. Okay, so it turned on, but however, in about 20 or 15 or 20 minutes, it will turn off, and we've tested this many times. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. For our other two generators that we just fixed with this, we turned it on, and once we put it on off choke, it would die. So here I am to tell you how to fix this and to show you step by step as my camera. All right, so the things that you will need for this maintenance is a normal flathead and a tiny flathead. You will need pliers, a 5 16", and then a 11 ratchet. And I think that's all you need, but if there is anything else, I'll let you know. Okay, so we've removed the cap, and now we're going to empty out the gas from the generator into this bucket. We're gonna empty out all the gas. So after we have fully emptied that out, I just emptied out all the bad gas, but there is still remnants of bad gas in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a tiny bit of good gas and clean gas into there, swish it around, pour it back in, rinse and repeat 2 or 3 times.
Johnny's pouring out his second time rinsing the generator to get all the debris out right now.
All right, so now we're gonna take our flathead and open this. And then we're also gonna open here. And this is the air filter. We're gonna pull out the air filter. And this is where we'll need our 5 16". There's gonna be a bolt under here where we're gonna get out. And then 2 nuts right here. Uh-oh. It's okay, sometimes that happens. It's a windy day here in Alaska. Drew, what's the temperature?
The temperature is, I actually don't know, 46 degrees?
I think it's like 45, yeah.
It's like 45 degrees.
Okay,
and
so
it's really windy.
And then we have those 2 nuts off. Let's set that aside. And there's this tube here. Can we get a close-up angle?
Yeah, I'm zoomed in.
You're zoomed in, wow.
Oh, yeah, I'm zoomed in.
Okay, so there's this tube here that we need to unhook. So I'm gonna pop this off. And you can give it a little bit of tug. We're gonna pop that off.
It looks like this. It's that's the only thing that should be connecting that to that.
So this nipple here is gonna come off there.
Yep.
So then, this is the fuel hose. So this is the tank.
Point to it again, point to it again.
This is the fuel hose. Goes all the way through here, and this is the carburetor. So we need to disconnect this so then we can drain all the fluid, all the fuel. So here we're gonna grab our pliers. There's a clasp here. We're gonna move that clasp up all the way there, so then it's not constricting it. Now we're gonna take this hose off.
Gotta give it a little tug to get it off of there.
Yeah. So now, there's this hose. See, you can see a little bit of fuel there leak. Also, it's fine, you can have a towel or a bowl there, but here in Alaska, you just put it on the barge, you know? Okay, so now that our hose is exposed and not connected to our carburetor, we can now blow through here and get all the gas out.
So you literally put your mouth on it.
Because there's still a little bit of gas in here, okay? So you're gonna see a little bit. Watch. So now that we have drained all the bad gas from the tank and the fuel lines, we can move to our carburetor. So our carburetor is contaminated with bad gas, so we need to clean that. So now, what we're gonna do is take this off. We're gonna grab our small flathead. It can be any flathead, but we're gonna take, you have a good angle on this, crew?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna take this cap off. And this is our electrical. So we're gonna take that cap off. And right here is the electrical components. There's a little notch in there. And you're gonna pop that off and set that aside. So now this is completely disconnected, these hoses here at the bottom. So now there is fuel in here, bad fuel. We need to grab our flathead and drain the fuel. So there's a flathead under here on this. We're gonna loosen that up and drain the fuel from the carburetor.
Comes out of the red hoses.
Yeah, it comes out of the red hoses there. And then we're gonna close that back up. The next step here is gonna be taking off of this bolt. We're gonna need a 11 size. And there will be a little bit more fuel in here, but it'll dribble out. Here you can rest down here. It's my only good resting spot. But now this is the bowl. There'll be a little bit of fuel in there. This is a pretty dirty bowl. It is rusted a bit. So we need to clean this. And here's the carburetor. So there's this little toilet seat thing that me and Drew call it. I don't know what it's called, but we're gonna take this pin out. Set that aside. There, and then you lift the toilet seat, shake it off, and put that aside. Okay, so now there's this metal tube. There are two main jets in there, and we need to clean those. So we're gonna get those out with this small flathead that we got from our friendly fisherman. So you see down in there, can you see there?
Yeah, that
Here's a flathead. So you're gonna get that out. Gosh, this is a really uncomfortable position here, guys. So you're gonna unscrew this. All right, pretty sure that's unscrewed all the way. Okay, so here is the main jet. Actually, I don't know if that's the main jet or the other one. I honestly forgot. But you have to remember what side this comes out, or what way. So this is like the flat side, or the big end.
Yeah.
The big end is what's at the top. So look, this is the main jet. It has holes in there you can barely see. And this is where the fuel runs through. This is very important. So now that we have this totally disassembled, we need to take carb cleaner and clean all of this. Okay, so now that we have our carb cleaner, we're gonna clean our bowl, our jets, and our carburetor. So let's start with the bowl. We're just gonna spray some carb cleaner in there. If you have an air compressor, it would be really good to use this. Once you use the carb cleaner, a little air compress. But we don't have that here in Alaska. So we're gonna just spray this. Swish it around a bit. Get it out, it evaporates. Also what I did on the previous generator, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I just took my finger and just like ran it around in there trying to get that rust or just all the dirt and like debris out of there, and then just rinsed it again with carb cleaner. I should do it. So now that we have that cleaned, we're gonna set that aside. Okay, now on to the carburetor. We have lots of different gizmos and gobbleators and holes, but there's only a few that you need to clean with carb cleaner. So this main one here, where the jets came out of, we're gonna wanna clean that with carb cleaner. So you're gonna stick that in there. and it's gonna come out these side holes. And it's okay if it gets anywhere, it's just carb cleaner. And then where the toilet seat was, we're gonna spray in there, and it's gonna come out this brass part. You're gonna go on the other side as well. It really gets cold on your hands, so I recommend wearing gloves while you're spraying the carb cleaner. And then you see this hole back here. You're gonna spray through that. It's gonna go up there. Dump that out. And then also on the other side, there's a hole here. Where are you gonna spray out? Okay, now that we have the carburetor cleaned out with carb cleaner, we can set that aside. Okay, on to the most important parts, the jets. So these may seem super small, but they do a lot. So you can see through, but I see a little bit debris in there, so we're gonna clean that out. I'm gonna go both sides just to make sure. That on a clean surface. And then we're gonna do the same for this jet. That's
Nice.
cold. And you can kind of put it up to the sun and just see through the holes. Just to make sure they're clear of debris and dirt. We're also gonna go the other side. It's a little bit harder to this side, but it's doable. All right, so now that we've cleaned our main jets, it's time to reassemble. It's important while you're working to stay in a good environment and to stay snacked up. So we're gonna take like a 30-second minute break just to relax. Who knows? Maybe you could catch a salmon.
I don't think you're doing it right.
Tim also wants us to be very hydrated while we work, so he bought us 3 cases of Red Bull. Usually we try to drink 2 per day, but sometimes we only drink 1 if we're not working super hard. But we're always working hard, so we usually drink 2.
Okay, so now the first part of reassemble is putting your main jets back in. We're gonna put the small end in first, slide that in. Then we're gonna put this back in with the flat head facing up, so then we can screw it in. And then once that's tight, set that aside. Now it's time to reassemble our toilet seat. So we're gonna put this back in, the needle going into that plug. Okay, so then we're gonna put this pin back in. All right, now we're gonna put the bowl back on. We're gonna put the bowl like this, and the drain screw facing where the choke is. So then if you just open it, you can easily drain the fluid without turning the bowl. So we're gonna hand put this in until we can't anymore. We're gonna grab our ratchet. And tighten that.
Tighten that mug.
Now that we have that back assembled, we're gonna put this back on. We're gonna reattach our electrical and put the cover back on. We're gonna slide that. This tube, here, get an angle on this. There's 2 little things down here. You're gonna stick them in there. They can poke out a little bit, however much you want to. Those are gonna be there. You can tuck that back. So now we're gonna add good gas into the gas tank and then run it through the fuel lines just to be sure that they're clean. Now this part is a little bit interesting. You have to suck on this tube to get the fuel running through there. But it's fine if you get a little bit in your mouth, you can spit it out. Clean that end.
To get back into that gold thing.
Put it back on there. Some pliers. Grab that. Put that clasp back on. Get into there. And then you're usually going to put your gasket back on. We lost our gasket. But we're getting replacements soon. Now you're going to take this piece. Place this. Put it through those holes. Put this hose back on that nipple. Fidget that on. I'm gonna grab our bolt and our 5/16. And we're gonna take our nuts. Put those back on. Put your air filters back in. Put this back on. Okay, now our Honda generator is fully reassembled, and now we are going to turn it on.
There you have it, folks.
Perfect. And there is a full guide on how to fix your Honda generator that won't go off choke and is sputtering. Thank you for watching. Yeah. I just blinded myself. We're still recording.
Yeah.
Becky, have you seen? You better not pull up. There can be a cut there.